I'm trying to move up in the plant and can't be doing all my life. Be for real. I mean, you can't do nothing if you're not for real. And nowadays they ask you what you know. I mean, then they want some sort of proof. I mean, where I mean, you be anything you want to be, a supervisor, driver, father, no telling anything. I mean, education is main thing.
This is the story of V.I.P, Voluntary Improvement Program, for the undereducated people of St. Louis, for those who never really had a chance, and those who want a second chance at schooling. Over half the residents of St. Louis have an 8th grade education or less. 40,000 never got above the 4th grade. 100,000 St. Louisans are functionally illiterate. That is, they read below a 6th grade level.
When Earth's last picture is painted and the tubes are twisted and dirty. Dried. The oldest color.
When the
oldest colors has faded.
Have faded.
Have faded. And the faded.
Faded, right.
And the youngest.
Criticizes someone else or decides what is right or wrong about something else. He gives his opinion on something, whether anyone necessarily likes his opinion is something else again, but that's what a critic is.
Is there a typical V.I.P. student? Most had 8, 9, or 10 grades of schooling, but 2/3 are able to read at only the 4th, 5th, or 6th grade level. Most are employed, but they want to qualify for better jobs. True, many are from the rural South, but to tell it like it is, all too many are from our own St. Louis area schools. Some left school to enter military service. Others, discouraged by repeated failures at school or serious problems at home, simply dropped out as soon as they were 16. Whose fault is it? What difference does that make now? There's a job to be done.
Now I bring it down. I say 18 over 1 times. I would have to invert.
Right.
Say 4, 9. Then I would cancel out.
Right. I find the common denominator.
And 1 would be 9. And 2 times 9 is 18, so I would put it 2.
9 goes 18 twice.
Twice.
And the second step.
It would be 2 times 4 is 8. 8 over 1. So you know 1 would go in 8.
We don't necessarily have to write the 1 down, right?
Right.
Some students who hated school learn to enjoy it here at V.I.P.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with smiling and laughing in the classroom. It's kind of legal and permissible. You're supposed to have a good time. Aldrin, you want to come up here and do this one for me? You all watch her, catch her if she makes a mistake. Okay, tell us what you're doing while you're doing it.
I'm going to multiply 1/2 times 4/5. And first I would cancel out. I would use 2. 2 and the 2 go 1 time. And 2 and the 4 go 2 times. And 2 times 1 is 2. And 5 times 1 is 5. My else is 5/5. 2/5, I'm sorry.
Now, if we hadn't canceled, what would have happened? Norma? Right. If we hadn't divided 2 by itself and gotten 1 and divided 2 into 4, we can cancel in this direction or this direction, but we can't cancel across. We're going to cancel on a diagonal, kind of like an X, and we're going to multiply the figures at the top and the bottom for the numerators and the denominators by one another.
Here at Hamilton School, 75 men and women come to school on Tuesday and Thursday evenings from 7 to 9 o'clock. The most expensive private schools can't offer what here is freely given, and that is classes so small that the students receive practically individual tutoring. How can the poverty program afford this? Because the tutoring is free. Volunteer tutors give of themselves and of their time because they want to be involved in the war on poverty. The volunteer tutors group here at Hamilton includes housewives, engineers, draftsmen, a TV technician. It ranges from college undergraduates to PhD professors.
Our students are here because they want to be here.
And we know the teachers are here because they want to be here, and this helps us.
Tonight we're going to go over some of the papers that you've handed in the last couple of weeks and see if we can thread some of them together and improve our writing. I know that all of you know how important it is to write well. You wouldn't be in this class if you didn't know that it's important. Whether you're writing a letter to a friend, writing a complaint letter to a department store, or filling a job application.
Jobs and job applications are a serious subject around here. Just recently, 2 men who finished their high school work at Hamilton's V.I.P. were then able to get jobs, and a 3rd man graduate was able to get a promotion. How did V.I.P. get started? Here at St. Bridget's Church, with volunteer tutors, then largely graduate students and religious, with no specialized books or materials, starting from scratch. A Sunday class was offered in spring of '64. They expected about 5 students. 42 showed up. They came from Pruitt-Igoe. They came from the South Side. They came from the North Side. They came from the county. Panic calls went out for more tutors and more books. By June, 15 VIPs had achieved their high school certificates by coming to school on Sundays, by doing homework at night. One man made a 50-mile round trip to attend VIP classes. And here was the first graduating class of VIP. These were people who had realized a dream. Through the love and concern of others in the community, these students had been helped, but mostly they had helped themselves. In a KSD-TV documentary filmed at that first graduation, we agreed that these were indeed very important people, the students, the tutors, and the families. From 42 students then, would you believe that today there are over 2,000 VIP enrollees, and there are 347 waiting to get into classes if there were only more space in which to hold evening classes and more volunteer tutors? VIP is now part of the federal poverty program, and it's been widely copied. There are 8 VIP centers in Kansas City, and 8 in Columbia, Missouri, 2 in Denver, and 2 in Salt Lake City. Other things have changed. Today there are books especially designed for adults, and middle-aged students don't have to read about Jane and Dick. And the arithmetic problems are keyed to everyday problems: grocery ads, department store ads. VIP classes range from the simplest, showing students how to draw numbers by following a row of arrows, all the way up to the top grade levels, where they study the interpretation of poetry.
Okay, now let's turn to another poem, this time by William Blake, who lived at the end of the 18th century in England. This poem is called The Clod and the Pebble. Love seeketh not itself to please, nor for itself have any care, but for another gives its ease, and builds a heaven in hell's despair. So sung a little clod of clay trodden with the cattle's feet. But a pebble of the brook warbled out these meters meet.
These are students almost ready for the final classes that will precede the taking of high school tests.
Wilhelmina, what's the Claude saying?
Well, the Claude is saying that love seeketh not to please itself, but to make the other party or mate happy, to do things that will keep them so in this world which is full of a lot of, well, as the expression goes, hell.
Right. It's an unselfish love in the Claude is talking about, isn't it?
Monopolize a person because the person does love you, where, you're not taking advantage.
Right.
All of us, if we're really interested, can continue our education, our learning, all the rest of our life. All of knowledge is in books, but books were meant to be read and understood. And this is why I can't encourage you too much to develop the dictionary habit. I hardly encourage you when you're watching the television program or listening to the radio to try to add the new words to your vocabulary. When you run across a new word, look it up in the dictionary. When you're riding on a bus or on the watching the billboards as you're going to work, if you see new words, jot them down into a notebook, look them up when you get home, and try to figure out how it was used in the particular ad. This way you'll add to your vocabulary. What do you do when you come across a word that you don't understand? Do you skip over it, or do you apply to?
Most of the time, what I do, I'll have a pencil and pad, and I'll write down a word that I don't understand or I don't know how to pronounce, and I'll look it up, and then I'll read it from the dictionary.
Well, it looks like you're all off to a very excellent start. And once again, I can't encourage you too much to continue this practice. Now, I flipped out of the newspaper the other day an editorial.
What's V.I.P's secret ingredient? Why has V.I.P. grown from 42 to over 2,000 students, spread out in 21 different class groups throughout the city, Kinloch and Robertson? Why are there 347 people waiting to become V.I.P. students? Here are some of the reasons.
We take a student where he is at. He may be at a 5th grade reading level and a 6th grade math level. In V.I.P., we start where he is at and progress at his rate of speed.
The students don't have to compete with one another, but rather each student's progress is measured from the point where each student started.
Students don't have to wait until January or September. They can enroll at any time in any week, and they can be assigned to a tutor. That is, this is the way it's supposed to work. However, at Hamilton, we have 21 students on the waiting list. We need more tutors.
Some people are scared of tests, but here they know that tests aren't given for grades. It's just to find out where their special needs are, and then we work on it together.
Here, they have no fear of failing. We just won't let them fail.
I see it all the time. Students come in here shy and fearful, and after just a few short weeks, they've gained confidence in themselves.
V.I.P. answers a real need. For years, adult education programs have been geared toward the middle class. Books and tuition were expensive. Classes were held far from home and at hours inconvenient for working people.
V.I.P. is a community effort. 21 different churches and schools contribute space for classes, provide utilities, custodial care, lend their office equipment. People from all walks of life are giving time as tutors. Everybody helps. The public library gives a big assist to V.I.P. It was the Skinker de Bolivar Community Council who arranged for the use of Hamilton School. They are delegated to administer the federal funds for this class. They work hard at recruiting tutors and students. The police give excellent coverage here at Hamilton. On dark nights, it's reassuring to see the patrol cars circling the area, checking the bus stops, patrolling the side streets. When congressmen talk about the high cost of the poverty program, why don't they tell it like it is? That only 50% of the cost of V.I.P., for example, is paid for by federal funds. Why don't they tell that tonight's class for this student cost the government $1, that 62 cents is given by local groups and volunteers, that a whole year's schooling for a VIP student costs the United States taxpayer only $66? Why don't they say that supervisory costs are very low? Each VIP center has a skilled professional teacher who, with a coordinator, is responsible for testing, curriculum, and for the training of volunteer tutors like these. These professionals often put in long hours, but they are paid for only 4 hours a week. So why don't they tell it like it is, that the richest country in the world can afford $1 an evening to help students help themselves? We asked some students about their goals.
I want to go as far as I can. I do think I set a good example for my children while sitting at home studying with them.
I attend classes 2 nights a week, and I want to become a teacher, and I want to continue my education at one of the junior colleges in the city.
My plan is to go to junior college to study child psychology. I had 12 years of school in Mississippi. I plan to take my high school equivalency test soon.
Trying to get ahead in the plan. I mean, Pepsi, where I work at.
Well, I'm attending V.I.P school for the simple fact to better my education and to get ahead. It's a lot of students that are dropping out. And I feel that if I could go, everyone else could go. If everyone would just look to the fact that education is something that you can't do about now. It doesn't really matter if you're just 49. It's good to go back to school and try to get your education.
While the war on poverty constantly struggles to stay alive, it took Congress from April to December to authorize this year's money. While V.I.P. may have to reduce the number of centers because of cutbacks from Washington, still there is a hopeful aspect to the poverty war, and that is this growing involvement of volunteers. The politicians might do well to listen to the college students and to the increasing number of business people, office, semi-skilled workers, executives, who serve as volunteers. There is a new mood. An engineer from McDonnell Douglas tells it like it is.
Too many people are just talking about conditions that exist, and not enough people are doing anything about it. And I think it's about time we got to work and did something about them and started helping people.
An associate engineer from Western Electric and a college student.
Working with math every day, I can say that math isn't very hard. It's a matter of understanding. And I feel as though if I can help the students get an understanding of mathematics, this will be the greatest contribution that I or anyone else can give a student. And that's the understanding of the subject that they're dealing with.
You don't have to have professional teaching experience. All you need is to really like people.
An employee from the Space Division of Emerson Electric.
I feel that if people want to try to help themselves and to better themselves, there should also be people willing in our community to help these people to better themselves. Americans have a hard time entertaining themselves, finding something really useful or meaningful to do. And I think that this is the best use I can make of my time. It's so much easier to get out and really feel and communicate with people and try and help them to help themselves, rather than sitting at home and judging people, saying they don't want to do better, they don't want to be productive citizens. I think that these people, if they would just come out and work just one night, they would find that it would be a far more rewarding experience than sitting at home looking at TV.
A retired military man employed at the United States Army Material Equipment Command.
I have sat where many of these students sit today. I completed my high school from a hospital bed. I've gone on to a little bit more in education, and I hope to be able to share the way I feel and the blessings and my ambition with these people.
Here's a husband and wife team, another McDonnell engineer.
Tutors get as much out of this as the students. You start a fellow with addition and subtraction. Pretty soon he's got some confidence and he's ready for algebra and trig. I think it's great, and Carol does too.
This is one of the most satisfying things I've ever done. The students are working hard to help themselves, and it's good to give them a lift.
And here is the final Get Ready class for those who will soon be taking the high school equivalency test. The tutor is Kenneth Cohen, a systems analyst for Glasgow Electric.
In this class, we do a concentrated review preparing the students to take the high school equivalency exam. We try to make sure that the students feel sure that they're ready to take the test. Yes, Myrtle?
Would you tell me why the symbol Fe is used for the element iron?
Okay, Myrtle. I is used for iodine. So they chose the Latin word for iron and gave it the symbol Fe. Understand, you can't have the same symbol for two elements. Okay. The Hamilton V.I.P. program has been in existence for less than 1 year. Last autumn, we graduated 4 students. Last spring, 3. 2 students are being tested at present, and the rest of the students in the class will be tested shortly.
We asked what brought Mr. Cohen into VIP, what encourages him to give up 2 evenings a week.
It seems to me that too many of us have made money and property values more important than humanity and moral values. We've moved to the suburbs, pay our taxes, and consider we're doing our fair share, and thus have the right to criticize. Instead of just paying our taxes and expecting the government to solve this problem, we must become personally involved in commitments such as this.
What's VIP's success story? In the St. Louis area, 309 students have passed their high school equivalency test. We must remember that while this is just a 6-month brush-up for some, to most of these students, this is a 2 to 3 year long, hard pull. But VIP students do succeed. 90 to 95% of those who take the high school equivalency test do pass. 2 years ago, Anheuser-Busch started a program through the Urban League of 10 scholarships to the junior college district. Of the first 10 scholarships, 4 went to VIP students. People who work to improve their education can qualify for better jobs. They help themselves, and they're a help to the business community. But VIP needs help from the business community. They need space in which to hold more evening classes. They need money for supplies and to hire professional teachers who guide the tutors. And more scholarships to the junior college on the part of businessmen and organizations would offer a tremendous incentive to these hardworking students. Our community needs the enthusiasm of VIP graduates.
It does make a difference when you have that high school diploma. I used to work as a stock girl in a laundry, but since I graduated, I worked as a teacher's assistant. Also, I've done office work. And last summer, I was program director for the entire summer program for the Pruitt-Igoe area. I had 40 people under my supervision, and I also planned trips for 150 children and adults every day for a period of 7 weeks.
Well, for myself now, it gives me greater confidence when I'm go to hunt a job. I don't have to be afraid of not having a high school education, and that's 9/10 of the battle there.
Well, I dropped out of school in the 8th grade, and I attended the Kingdom House VIP tutoring program, and it gave me the ability and chance to attend junior college, and I hope to continue in school.
Many people feel that the poor do not wish to help themselves, but the success of the Voluntary Improvement Program has definitely proved that this isn't true. Many of these very important people have gone on to junior college and other colleges in the area. Many have obtained jobs, and many have secured better jobs. Many are active in community life. Involvement in the VIP program helps a man stand tall.
VIP says, if you dropped out of high school to go to work, if you left high school to enter the military service, if you never got to high school, come and let VIP help you get a high school certificate. If you can't read very well, if you don't know your numbers, come and let VIP help you go to school. You may have to wait a while, but VIP will let you know as soon as there's an opening. V.I.P. now has 755 volunteer tutors, but there are 347 St. Louisans on the waiting list who want to be students. Some have waited for 6-7 weeks, some for months. V.I.P. needs classroom space. V.I.P. needs tutors. If you have a high school education, a basic knowledge of English and mathematics, if you can teach one subject, one night a week, as Billy Graham says, come forward. If you, like people, want to help, think there's too much talk about poverty and too little action, come forward. If you have a special skill like speech therapy, please come. If you need a lift, you can get it by giving a lift to V.I.P. To learn more about becoming a student or a tutor, drop a postcard to Jim Wright, Director, V.I.P., 1321 Clark Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 63103.
Because up to the individual, if they want to move, I mean, really, it's nothing that the man can't do. I found out. All you need is that stride and willpower for to do it. That's all. There's nothing a man can't do.